SYS CHAT installment.
Yes.
Episode 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did episode.
Congratulations.
Today's topic is things that are holding you back in business.
Where am I supposed to be
life.
looking?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
She's still learning. Now, okay, I want to read this to you because our friend told us about this today. I thought it was really relevant to the topic. And it's from Humans of New York. I used to be obsessed with cooking. It was all I thought about. I did cooking shows on the BBC. I wrote 27 cookbooks. I wrote a whole cookbook just about garlic. Then one night, I was editing the proofs for my 27th cookbook when I picked up a marker and drew a mermaid on a piece of scrap paper. I looked at the mermaid, she looked at me, and I never thought about cooking again.
Wow.
Ever since that moment, I thought about nothing but art. I was 60 years old when I made the switch. And I'm not sure what caused it. It was either menopause, a psychotic break, or a muse bit.
Me on the bum.
Yeah. So I just think that's really amazing because I find a lot of the older generation, they feel that they're too old to start anything.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And even, I mean, I'm not that old. I'm in my early 40s, 41 to be precise, for another few days. And I think, yeah, we do hold ourselves back with, it's just another one of those negative self-talks that we give to ourselves for some reason. And
I think also you have all these other passions in life and you worry, oh, who am I to start something new? I've done this my whole life. I've done this for 20, 30 years. Why do I have the option to start my own business?
Yeah, or I'm just a housewife, or I'm just a bank clerk, or whatever. You really limit who you are, and you don't see that creative, amazing person that's busting to get out there.
And especially the creativity. So this woman, she started art when she was 60 years old. So the way you can start is you don't have to sell anything straight away, but you can just start creating.
Yeah.
And showing people, showing your loved ones, showing your family, just getting it out there to actually give you that little bit of adrenaline, I suppose.
Yeah, just even to get over the fear of breaking it or coming out. It is a bit coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. You could start it off as a hobby.
Yeah.
And don't even worry about what other people think. Just go, look what I did. And I bet you'll get amazing feedback, and it's just going to go from there. And it is just you that's holding yourself back. It's not anybody else. It's not, oh, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have that. It's none of that. That's all bullshit, quite frankly. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's all...
She's so blunt.
I'm blunt. It is. It's crap, because when I was, quite a few years ago, I was the excuse queen. Absolutely, positively had an excuse for everything, so I didn't have to do things. The kids were my excuse, being a single mum was an excuse. I liked being overweight. I thought, that was good. It's that sort of stuff. I bullshitted to myself and I never moved forward. And then I did my law degree by myself, and the best thing I ever learnt down there was that nothing holds you back except for you. And what you need to do is figure out what it is you want.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing in life, is figuring out what it is you want.
What gives you that butterfly feeling inside, and just you can't help but smiling.
And it doesn't go away.
Yeah. And it's, we say this woman in the example, she was 60, but I have friends that they've done this whole degree of education and that's not their passion.
Yep.
And they're not too old either. They think, oh, I've just wasted 4 years of education.
Nothing's a waste,
No.
Nothing. I mean, I studied law. I spent 7 years studying, and then next 10 years actually working in the area. And it's not my passion anymore, and I'm transitioning over to this. And for me, I say, well, you know, oh, this is a fucking waste of time. That's the negative me talking. And then I go, actually, no, I've learnt amazing things from this, like, you know, how to deal with people, how to deal with people in emotional situations, how to have healthy boundaries, how not to get emotionally involved and to still be able to serve people and help them. So there's so many things that I've learnt from that that I can take away. And that's what it is. It's trying to find those sort of things in those experiences so that nothing is ever a waste of time and don't regret things.
Exactly. Well, we would love to know what your passions are, and especially if it's not exactly what you're doing right now, we want to try and like bring it out of you.
Yeah,
so
let
please,
us know.
And this is just one part, so don't stop watching just yet.
Yes, what was our other bit we were going to talk about?
Competition.
Yes.
Competition.
So this morning, Carly will post a picture of me. I was getting my caterpillars cleaned up a bit because they were taking up my whole forehead and face. We couldn't see my eyes anymore. And so I often just chat to people, and I love to know what they do and you know, what their passions are and stuff. And there was a young girl, and absolutely beautiful, lovely girl, and she was I asked her, what do you love doing? And she said, oh, I love health and fitness. I love going to the gym, and I'd love to be a personal trainer. I said, well, what's stopping you? And she said, oh, there's just too many of them out there. And I was like, oh, darling.
And especially personal training, it's so personal.
Yes,
You're having someone shouting at you or telling you what to do.
Or you might not be a somebody that works well with that sort of person. So you might need somebody that, you know, gives you a little pat on the back and says, well done, Carly, you know, go at your pace.
Anyone can tell you to lift a weight. It's how you say it that people respond to.
Yeah. And it's how that person needs to hear it that will become your client, because it's, you know, we don't hear, we can hear the same message, but we actually don't hear it properly until it's somebody else has said it.
And another good example.
That made sense, but
actually, I don't think I listened to that.
Anyway, I think you get what I mean.
No, because I was trying to think of my next thing. Oh, it was the other example about, we spoke to this man a couple of months back, and he's a yoga instructor.
Yes.
And that's the same thing he said. He said, oh, there's so many yoga teachers or people selling yoga mats. And we're like, yes, but why would someone buy a yoga mat from them rather than you? Put yourself out there. Show us why you love yoga. Teach us how to do yoga.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects that you can put yourself into your business.
And he loved travelling too. Yeah. So we suggested that he pull over on the side of the road, like, you know, the Muslims will pull over and pray. You know, pull over and do some yoga on the side of the road and video it and upload it to your YouTube channel. That's the sort of thing that's going to differentiate you from the other yoga instructor.
And that's a really good example for a product-based business. A lot of people think, oh, I just sell products, so why do I need to put myself into it? But that's a whole
topic.
Whole another topic.
Yeah.
So I think that was that it? Really good.
But I just wanted to go back a bit, because I just love that the whole want business.
Yeah.
I spoke to a good friend yesterday, and we were talking about the same thing, about, you know, figuring out what it is you want in life. And the thing is, we have this lazy side of us, I believe, and she agreed with me, so...
I'm nodding because I don't know what you're saying next.
Yes. No, I'm not having a go at you. So we have this lazy side of us. We all know what we have to do.
Oh, yes, now I know why I agree with it.
Yes, we all know, but we don't want to hear it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to take that step. And, you know, we sort of discussed it, and we said it's because we are so comfortable living in that discomfort. It's the habit, you know, of that. And but then you go to bed and you're feeling frustrated because you didn't change anything from the day before.
So I think maybe it's just about the baby steps.
Yes.
So what are the baby steps that someone can take in order to make that transition? Because it is obviously a huge thing, saying, oh, I'm going to go from having a corporate job or being a housewife into having a business.
Yes.
So like we said before, is it about just creating? Just starting
little things, and just start telling people. Open your mouth and speak. You know, our coach, she says to me, Keon, you just have to tell people what it is you want. Like, don't be scared to speak out.
Yeah.
And a lot of us do that. We just don't speak out.
And do you know what? One of my pet hates for what...
She hates something.
Oh, no. If you have a conversation with someone, you say, what have you been up to? What have you been doing? Please don't say, not much. Or not much. I haven't seen you in 6 months. What have you been up to? So that's the perfect opportunity, especially coming up to Christmas. What do you love? What have you been doing in your spare time as a hobby that may then turn into a business?
Yes, that's good.
Am I shouting too much at them?
She's passionate.
Passionate.
You're passionate.
So what do we want them to do for us?
Well, I suppose, and just one other thing too, because we do put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Figuring out what you want isn't actually that easy. So I found that process of elimination works for me.
Okay.
So I figure out what I don't want.
Yeah, that's a lot
and
easier.
then I can then sort of figure out what I want. And then sometimes you think you want something, but you actually don't really want it. So there's times where I've said, hey, your mind's blowing. Yeah. What do you mean?
Oh, just because you're like, don't worry.
Okay, so I've really got to get this out.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not interrupting. This is the spiritual side of me
coming
out.
Good. I'm glad.
So, now I've forgotten what I was going to say.
I'm sorry. No,
that's okay. Yeah, so sometimes we say, I really want to do something, okay? And we think that's what we want to do. But if you really sort of dig deep, you know it's not what you want to do.
So is your intuition coming out, or?
No, I think we just plainly bullshit to ourselves.
Oh.
And it's also we want to please other people and stuff like that, and we're too scared to actually come out and say, I want to do blah, blah. Like for me, I was scared to say, I want to move to France. You know, that's huge. My parents don't know yet.
They know now.
And it's a massive thing to actually verbalise something that you're afraid is going to change other people's lives, or you're going to get the reaction of other people and stuff. So that's how we hold ourselves back. And we'll say to them, they might say, for example, we heard someone say, my brother could have been a soccer player if he had the money to go to college and stuff. And I think to myself, I'm sorry, but I think that's an excuse. I think if you want to be a soccer player, nothing will stop you, nothing will get in the way, and you will become that soccer player if you want to be. It happens. You've just got to dig deep and find out what it is you want.
And especially hard work.
There's hard work involved too.
Yes. It's not just as fact as I want to have a business and bam, you've got a business.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying baby steps.
Baby steps,
working yourself towards that point.
Yeah. And it's also like, for example, we've just but we spoke to some people today as well. And, business doesn't happen overnight and success doesn't happen overnight. If anybody's telling you that, it's bullshit. The biggest load of baloney you've ever heard in your life, because you need to work for it. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
So there's no quick get rich quick schemes here. There's no I'm going to be an overnight sensation. You need to work.
And I think that's why it's really important to surround yourself with like-minded people, especially because you will get asked the question, no doubt, when are you going to start making money? And you just don't need that kind of pressure, because of course the money's going to come.
Yeah.
And if you're surrounded by people like us, we know that question is irrelevant. We don't need to ask you that. You know that yourself. You want to know that yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing we're into, is organically growing your business and organically attracting your clients, and the money will come as long as you're doing what you absolutely love doing. So I think we've gone on to so many topics today. We better be, because usually these are quite quick. So anyway, if we don't speak to you before Christmas, will we be?
Possibly.
Okay, so if we don't, have a very safe and Merry Christmas, and may all your dreams and wishes come true. And
take a break.
Yeah, enjoy it. And we'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
And
always.
Remember?
Oh, I was going to do it.
Sorry.
We'll do it together.
Okay, you do it.
Okay.
I'll let you do it.
Remember to always strut your stuff.
Yay! Oh.
My hands are clammy.
See ya.
Bye.